I am with Tyler. Given the reins tonight for the first team game against Dorking Wanderers in the Southern Combination Cup, when we say first team, obviously you had a handful of experienced players in there, but most of the squad was made up of either under 23s players or young first teamers. To come out with a 7-1 win, you must have been very happy.
Yeah, definitely. Like you said there, we had a handful of kind of older, experienced first teamers, but the majority of the squad was under 21. Even if it was the first team that was involved, there wasn't many that was above the young age. So yeah, very, very pleased. It was a real mixture of players from the 23s that deserved their minutes and guys from the first team that were either needing minutes or coming back from injury. And for a team that obviously hadn't played together before this game, to come out 7-1 win, and in all fairness, it should have been 7-0. Can't argue.
No. When you look at the game, there were some good goals on there. 5 of the goals were scored by your boys, so under 23s players. You had Jake on debut scoring his first for the club.
Yeah.
You had Mason scoring a couple, which again I think were his first for the first team.
Yeah.
Probably. Felipe again, another one, notching for the first time. So it was a good all-round performance. Anyone particularly stand out for you?
Yeah, I mean, there was a few that stood out. I thought that Javonte had an exceptional first half. I think he'd done a bit of a lung-busting run, very similar to what he'd done away at Deportivo. I think that created the first goal. So I thought Javonte was excellent, as he has been the few times he's been called upon. But really, I think the game belonged to Kyle Henry and Mason Seaver. Kyle Henry has come back into the fold. Exceptional attitude, got 3 or 4 assists tonight. And then also, like you say, Mason's bided his time with the first team over the past couple of seasons. He scored 2 this evening, and very, very unselfishly set up DCS for the last goal, but he probably could have gone for his hat-trick. So, I think those 3 in particular stood out for me.
Okay. Anything you were disappointed about tonight?
Disappointed conceding, but you always are as a manager. I would quite happily win 40 games 1-0 because you're on the pitch not to concede at the end of the day. It doesn't matter how many goals you score. But no, apart from that, there was no grumbles. Like I previously mentioned, it was an 11 that hadn't played together. They controlled the game really well against the young opposition that knew what they wanted to do. They're a regular team together. They passed the ball well, but we got in their faces. We broke that up, and yeah, I'll say just the goal.
There was some nice play out there tonight as well. There was a lot of neat interplay. I mean, I think Felipe almost scored with a screamer that hit the crossbar after a neat little 1-2, I think, with Mason on the edge of the area.
Yeah.
There were other bits of play where we saw it was neat one-touch football that opened them up.
Yeah, definitely. I've mentioned it just a moment ago. I think that the mix that we put out there tonight was really, really good. Like I say, you had the experienced first teamers there with some young guys that wanted to prove that they belong at Combined Counties level. So, there was no room for complacency. There was no complacency. And I think, when you've got that senior kind of spine to the team with players around you that have got a point to prove, then, the team should really be putting in those kind of performances.
Okay. So for you and your 23s, where do we go now? Obviously, I have a fair idea where we go now, but if you can tell us what the current situation is and the current Combined Counties thinking is.
So as far as we're aware, the Combined Counties have extended the season by another round of fixtures. So all the teams in the CCO Under 23 Development Division will play a further 5 fixtures. So we had 1 left, which was going to be a title decider, winner takes all against Cobham at their ground next Wednesday. But we've now been scheduled a further 5 games. So we've got 6 league games to go. We play 3 away, and we host Warren and Hersham and Chesterton. And obviously we've got the second leg semi-final league against Corrie Fleck at home, 1-0. And we're awaiting the Surrey Cup draw for the semi-finals, which should take place on Monday.
Okay. And I think you said that the final for that is later this month, is that correct?
Yeah, as far as I'm aware, looking on their website, it's Wednesday the 27th of March at Meadowbank. So
okay.
May well have a semi-final and touch with a final in quick succession.
Cool. So after 1 game in, 6-7 weeks, you're loaded up again?
Yeah, so it's very similar taking to last season. But we organised a couple of friendlies. We obviously played the reserves. We played Hawley Town reserves as well. So we kept ourselves ticking over. and the boys put in probably their best performance of the season away at Croydon in the League Cup semi-final, first leg, which is always a hard place to go. So, credit to the boys that have either, got involved with the first team training, been involved with the first team, or gone away and done their own bit. So, regardless of the lack of game time, which is frustrating, like I say, obviously the boys are doing well as far as we're concerned.
Okay, cool. Thank you very much, mate.
Cheers, Gal. Thank you.